Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Eastern Lariat podcast, your show for news, notes, reviews, and opinions on the world of Japanese pro wrestling here on cagematch.net. I'm your host, STRIGGA, and I am as always joined by Dylan. Hello, sir.
STRIGGA,
Yes.
It's good to be back.
Right.
I think that, with everything going on in pro wrestling these days, I really feel like we are needed more than ever in the Japanese wrestling landscape. I think the people out there would agree with that. I think many people have said this, not just me saying this. I think many others have said this. And I think that we are out here doing the best we can in a schedule. Things are starting up big for everybody. We're moving out of the summer, out of August. I cannot wait for the summer to end. I cannot wait to be into October, to be honest, because I really hate hot weather a lot. And like, it's always very, very hot lately. Although it's cooling down a little bit more. It's cooling down a little bit more. We're not up into that, 99, 100 degree range, maybe like 35 to 40 for all the international folks out there. We're coming in a bit down. 45.
You sure?
Maybe 30, 35. Maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, 35 to 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still,
I don't think
still warm, still hot, but 45 it would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how much 45 translates to, but I know that's really hot. I know 40 is like well over 100. Very hot. So.
Yes.
No, so it's very hot, but it's cooling down a little bit more. It's not as crazy as it was, but still, with all that said, I'd rather be here, comfortable, in my room, talking with you, talking to the people out there, the Eastern Lariat family. And I think that we've got a lot of interesting and fun topics and some things that we don't always talk about as much today. So I'm really happy to get into this kind of show.
Yes. So for me, it was the second day of school after the summer vacations ended. So it was a long day, and I'm hoping that we get everything here into this show that we wanted to. Last time we only discussed New Japan Pro Wrestling because of the G1 Climax 35 ending, and we want to grab that back up because New Japan updated the cards. We were wondering about the Renarita title challenge last time, Dylan. We could have, of course, thought about the fact that New Japan Pro Wrestling never announces a title match unless the title match before has happened or hadn't happened. In this case, it was the match at Forbidden Door, of course. Zack Sabre Jr. defended the title against Nigel McGuinness there, and only after that they announced that the title match will now happen at Destruction in Kobe with a final card for the event in the Kobe World Memorial Hall, which has Shota Umino, Yuya Uemura, and Yoshihashi versus Evil, Sanada, and Dick Togo. Another one of Hiroshi Tanahashi's final road matches against Great Okan. He has more of those on that tour. He faces, Yuji Nagata at Nagata's Produce show, Blue Justice 16. Then he goes against, where is it? Oh, there is a 2 or 3 falls match. That doesn't count, really. Then there is another one. Let me see. Against Master Wato on the 24th, and then on the 28th, he goes against Great Okan on that tour. Never openweight title, Oleg Bolton versus Don Farley. IWGP Tag Team title, Tomohiro Ishii and Taichi defend against Yuto Ice and Oscar. Then 2 special singles matches, Hiromu Takahashi and Taichi Ishimori wrestle, presumably to challenge the winner of the junior heavyweight title match on the New Japan show on the 24th, Desperado versus Yo. Yonatsuji versus David Finlay. Gabe Kidd defends against Shingo Takagi, global heavyweight title. And then Zack Sabre Jr. and Renarita for the world title. That's not a card that I look forward to very much, to be quite honest.
STRIGGA, when you read this card out, and when I saw it, and all the listeners heard it, and maybe they're looking up now, I honestly had an epiphany, to be honest with you. I honestly am considering writing an email to New Japan World, and I think I'm going to ask them to raise the price of New Japan World.
Ooh.
This kind of quality that they're giving us, they're undercharging everyone. I mean, this is some of the greatest action that they could offer us in this day and age. And I feel like I said, as I predicted last week, we did see some people say perhaps we were a little negative on the G1 final. And I think I'm taking a more positive outlook. I think that I need to email them and ask them to raise the price of New Japan World, because this kind of action, this kind of entertainment, it deserves awards, Strigga. Like, what kind of award can they get for this? They will not get any of the Eastern Lariat awards for any of these cards. I can assure you that will not happen.
Then it doesn't even matter.
Exactly. All the other ones are secondary. We all agree on that. But I do think that I feel like we're robbing poor Bushi Road by, subscribing to these products and watching these matches. I mean, what more could you ask for, Strigga, on these cards?
I'm sorry, but I am the one that feels robbed here. I actually want to write an email and want them to lower the price of New Japan World. How about that?
I think many people are writing emails saying we will unsubscribe to New Japan World.
Yes, I guess so.
Yeah, so I think that's what they're really going to be worried about more than us.
They should be happy either of us is paying for this.
Exactly. Like, the fact that we're paying anything at all is arguably too much. In all seriousness,
I looked at these cards for the entire tour, right? Some of them are on New Japan World. Some of them are just tours shows, and they are fine. But there is a show in Korakuen Hall that's main evented by a never openweight 6-man tag team title match. Toru Yano, Yo, and Master Wato against Hiroshi Tanahashi, El Desperado, and Ryusuke Taguchi. That's fine. It's a fine mid-card match, to be honest.
Okaman Yano getting his...
Okaman, yeah.
Getting his...
Already pushing himself here.
Well, he's already a champion, so...
Yes.
But, we'll see what direction that the current booking team of New Japan has in mind. I mean, there's just a lot of rumors.
Winning the championship.
Oh, no. There's no... I don't think there's any doubt in that match. I would argue. It's a really weak title match, and I'm just not seeing anything on these cards, really, that draws me. I think it's, like, arguably character assassination, what they did to Yo after his Best of Super Junior final run. Yeah. Like, that this is where we're at with him now.
But they always do that.
Remember,
like Master Wato?
Yes, I remember him. He is a champion with Yano in the team for the
yes.
6-man belt, so...
Yes.
But like, that was the closest thing they could have had to something. And then you look at these other matches on the quote unquote big show at Kobe, and it's like Narita, Kid, Tsuji, and Finlay will be a good match, but it's something we've seen before a bunch. And then, random Hiromu Ishimori match, and then whatever, like, Don Fale is challenging for a title. Who would want to watch this show?
I know. I don't know. I really don't know. It's not even funny if you think they want to make it an ironic or sarcastic mark here. That's not even like...
Yeah, there's no entertainment value to what we're seeing now.
That's the evil one. You can't pretend to ironically like Don Fale. That's not possible.
Some people can. I've seen photoshops of him with certain boots on Twitter. So I will say some people can. I'm not judging anyone. I'm just saying that I personally don't want to watch any of these matches on this card. Outside of the tag, I have some very minor, because I think this gimmick sucks, interest in seeing the Knockout Brothers make their debut and probably get titles.
Yeah, they win. Yeah. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, they're gonna win for almost certainly. I have some interest in seeing how they'll look as a team, because if they wrestle great, I could overlook this stupid gimmick.
They've developed great tag team chemistry in their time in Europe,
and we'll see if it translates.
Yeah.
Because there's some guys that we hear these reports that killed it in Europe and then they come home and it's like,
That's right.
yeah, it's like, man. Like, so I hope that they really show out here because, like I said, they're not in the House of Torture. Their matches aren't going to be train wrecks. They're going to at least get to wrestle, regardless of how ridiculous they may appear. So I hope that they really. And Taichi and Ishii are two of the best to go against. So I think the match could be a sleeper hit. Maybe it'll give some people some hope for some really new, fresh talent. And Tsuji and Finlay will be a good match. I have absolutely zero interest in the top two title matches. It's funny because I feel bad because I can't really do the stuff about him being a madman and all that stuff anymore because everybody has kind of done that now. Like that, the world has taken it from me. Now everyone agrees and they just don't see anything in him. So I think it's interesting how how he went from January to here. You could probably do some studies on how to like tank your own overness in a very short amount of time, and he's pulled that off along with AEW. And yeah, it's just a really rough looking tour here. If there was any doubt of coming off of that evil Takeshita final, what do you think of that? That's really one of the. Nobody really cares about any of the matches that I've seen talking about it. The main talking point is Takeshita not being on the tour.
Yeah. I think, like we said our bit on what we think about the title match, who's winning the title match last time. I think that's going to be another crucial point that will not help Takeshita to reach that point that he actually wants to reach, to be beloved by the New Japan home fans.
Right, and I mean, that's why I kind of, when we were talking about his promo afterwards, I kind of didn't like it at all, what he was saying, because it's like he kind of just gave up halfway through it. He's like, well, if they see me as an outsider, that's fine.
Yeah.
at the end. And that's the opposite of what we need from him, I would say, in both ways. We'll see. I honestly don't know how this tour is going to go. There may be so few fans in attendance, it doesn't even make a difference whether he was there or not. It might be better for him just to not have to be associated, to be honest, with some of these.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, it's definitely not going to help online Twitter fans. They warm up to him, I would say. And I just think that they're just really struggling right now. And I will see if things can change by the time we get to October when Takeshita gets his title shot and if they have anything planned. Let me ask you this. This is a New Japan point that's kind of related to stuff, but not really. But it's an idea I had in mind. Because in our discussion last episode, we talked about how Takeshita should win the belt, pretty much. My kind of devil's advocate point against it was that Takeshita doesn't really have a ready-made opponent, which you kind of need for a dome match. Do you think it's possible we see a situation, and I thought about this when I was watching a Forbidden Door. By the way, I did a full review with Nello on Wrestle Update on Cage Match as well, if y'all want to check that out. But I was thinking about it when I watched that match. Ibushi teaming with Tanahashi, like on this retirement road. They're desperate. And he is a guy that's been turned to in the past for like when needed, pretty much. Takeshita and Ibushi as a main event. Like, what would you think about that? If Tanahashi clearly threw his weight around, because there's no way Ibushi would have teamed with the New Japan president 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, I still think the likelihood of that match happening in AW is much higher than in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's much more likely that Tetsuya Naito returns before the end of the year than Ibushi. That
would make more sense as well. I mean, it kind of would, but
I really think that Kota Ibushi, that has been so unprecedented how he acted online on Twitter. I think he burned too many bridges back to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I think I would have thought that until Tanahashi teamed with him, and we saw Shibata get brought back with Tanahashi earlier this year as well. And I think that they're going to do whatever he wants at this point. Like, like if he wants Ibushi back in the fold, I think that's what's going to happen. Like, regardless, I'm not saying everyone's going to like it backstage, but it is something I think, because that's an absolutely natural main event, more so than even Naito.
Yeah.
Even though Naito fits in a role of, but see, this is why the booking screws everything up so bad. If Naito were to, let's say Takeshita won and Naito were to return, Naito would be coming in as the hero, like the avenging guy defending the lion mark, more so than a personal issue.
Would be so interesting to see what the fans' reactions to an Ibushi return would be. I mean, he never, he only attacked management, right? And in that day, in this day and age, it must be a face move.
I think the fans would pop for him if he came back personally. Like, again, I think there's some people backstage that wouldn't be happy, but we've seen Tanahashi get his way, like in this year. Same thing happened with Shibata, like earlier. People didn't want him back, but the fans, probably wanted him back. But regardless, it's something I thought about, because that wouldn't have happened a year or two ago, like Ibushi teaming with Tanahashi or any New Japan wrestler. And I think it's interesting that they were able to work it out how they did. And I think that's a very natural matchup, and one that would attract some interest. Ibushi's really up and down, as like his track record as a draw is kind of up and down. I mean, the match was atrocious against Marufuji, but that was a worthy main event at the time for the New Year show. Yeah. So it's just an idea. Like because when I was watching that match, that's what I was thinking of. It's like that immediately stuck out to me. It's like, hey, Ibushi's teaming up with a New Japan guy. Like, that shouldn't happen. But since it's Tanahashi, it did, and I do think Naito would be it. And I think that there's a much greater chance, regardless, it would be one of those guys or some kind of outsider more than anybody on the roster if Takeshita was going to win. But I mean, we're still over a month away. Like, we're a month and a half away from that, so we'll see. Who knows what could change in the meantime? I mean, there's been rumblings that this whole booking team is about to get shaken up. Gato's a little worried about his job. The rumor mill is saying. So, why he shouldn't be worried? Everything should have been changed. It's not just Gato. Like, everyone involved with the booking should be gone.
Yeah, I just said that we just recorded our German show Straight Wrestling a couple of days ago, and I just said exactly that. There needs to be a complete change in the philosophy of this company, how to use this roster, how to implement things, complete new way of thinking.
I totally agree, and we'll see if it feels like that time is going to come very soon.
Eventually, this time has to come.
If I were to guess, it's probably going to be after the Dome. Like, I think that they're going to ride it out until then. And then, I mean, you just can't keep doing what you're doing. Like, it's just not logical. At this point.
Dylan, that the wheels turn very slowly in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people would have said that a year ago, that things need to change. I would have said it 5 years ago that they needed to change. Yes. So, and maybe even longer. But you're right that things go slowly, but I do feel like that time could be coming very soon.
Let's hope for it, because a change is needed to get some fresh air into this promotion, this Bushi Road promotion. Luckily, Dylan, there is another Bushi Road promotion that is really on a high this year, and has been on a high for a pretty long time, actually, with Stardom. They just finished up their 5-star Grand Prix. We had the show from Korakuen Hall to set up the quarter and semifinals stemming out from the group standings. We had Suzuki beating Bozilla in the opener. Azumi beat Hanan. Momo Watanabe beat Ami Sourei. Rina beat Bea Priestley. Saori Ano over Suzuki. Azumi over Saya Kamitani in a huge upset there for Azumi. Of course, Saya Kamitani had lost before against Bea Priestley. That led Priestley to enter the quarterfinals. Momo Watanabe defeated Sari, and Rina defeated Natsupoi in the main event of that show. Huge match for Rina, definitely. Which then led us to the final show in Ottawa in front of a sold-out house of 2,856. By the way, I think Stardom is the one company besides Pro Wrestling Noah that reaches the highest attendances in Korakuen Hall in 2025. I've not looked that up, not looked up any statistics, but whenever I come across a Korakuen Hall attendance for Stardom, it's really, really high. So, the finals for the 5-Star Grand Prix. First, we had the Red Stars final with Azumi going over Ringa, and the Blue Stars final with Momo Watanabe going over Saori Ano. And then, of course, in the final, Momo Watanabe beat Azumi with a Peach Thunder to claim the 5-Star Grand Prix victory, Dylan. I watched this tournament. I watched a lot of this tournament, actually. Initially, we talked about the first show. I was really down on the idea of following along this tournament because of that first show with these 16 matches. But eventually, I looked up the ratings on Cage Match, and I saw that the ratings were really high. So I dipped in. I didn't watch it all. For some shows, I only watched the second half, the main half of the show. For some, I picked and chose matches from there. And for others, I watched them completely. For example, the Korakuen Hall shows. And I really think that I have a better understanding of what Stardom is supposed to be, and I have a better understanding of the individual characters now that I've followed along with the 5-Star Grand Prix. And I also have a better understanding of what hate is supposed to be and how that works out. I think overall, like, you can say that this tour was a giant success for the company.
Yeah. And I said on the after the first show that was going to be a one-off, and a lot of the shows afterward were going to be different and easier to watch. So I'm glad that proved true. Ultimately, on there, there were a lot of really strong matches in the tournament, and a lot of strong performers as well. It's one of those things where it's like, once again, everybody started off doubting like Okada when it came to the 32-person tournament and saying it was too much. And then the first show happened and it kind of dragged on a little bit. But by the end of the tournament, you've basically gave so many people needed experience in major matches, and a lot of them ended up stepping up. Like, there really weren't too many weak links outside of, like, maybe a Waka. Like, everybody else who was younger gained something from it.
Yeah.
Whether it's a Sayaka Kuraro, whether it's a Rana Yagami, whether it's a Hina, who I thought had a fantastic run in the tournament. A lot of these undercard people really stepped up, and then, of course, the main people came through, and they did awesome. And, I mean, my personal favorite match of the tournament, I will say right now, was Azumi and Saya Kamatani in the semifinals. Mm-hmm. Like, that to me was like
so strong.
Yeah, that had to be one of the best matches of the year. And like, Kamatani is just, she's such a strong everything. Wrestling wise, character wise, she is just perfect in her role right now.
Yeah, she didn't always have the best match, but she always performed on an extremely high level and carried herself like the champion that she is.
And she's grown as a worker, like, tremendously, I would say. Yeah. She may not have had the best match every night, but you look at her run. Her matches against Hanan, Azumi, Mei Seira, like, these are all great matches. And she was a really strong performer in them. And I think that it's great. I actually did, by the way, I checked out her match in Wave versus Kohaku. And it was a good match, but I wouldn't say great. But it's worth watching, I would say. Kohaku is one of those where it's like, when she debuted, I remember watching her as a young lad, and I thought, okay, this is like one of the best workers. Like Mikoto Shindo was my total jam. And I don't think she's ever quite lived up to what I thought her potential was. I do have to say. But she looked good, and Kamatani made her look like a zillion bucks. And I thought, even though the match wasn't great, I thought her performance in particular was like so strong. And I've just been amazed at how truly great she's become. And I thought the Azumi match was just incredible. It told a great story.
Yeah.
Azumi, she was somebody going into the tournament that I thought, man, Azumi's really let me down a lot this year. Like, I don't think she's had a very good year. Every time they put her in a big match, she hasn't delivered. And I was just thinking, man, maybe the one that I loved is the high speed champion. Like, that's just her ceiling. And like her being in these main matches just isn't going to work. And by the end of this tournament, I was like, wow, this is one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Absolutely, man.
She totally regained her form by the end of the tournament. And it's one of those I thought about it. I remember we talked about it a couple of years ago. By the way, yet another victory lap for me, and I'm pretty sure you agree with me when we talked about it on New Japan. The 4-block system of the tournament delivers once again in the Japanese wrestling tournaments. As everyone says is bad, we say is good, and it always turns out good. Yes,
maybe
exactly.
Not 32 wrestlers, but it's a good system.
And I think it worked. Like in this case, like if it was New Japan that tried a 32 wrestler tournament,
no.
Yeah, that would suck. But this one did. Like this one was good overall. Like the whole tournament was fun to watch. Yeah. You learned a lot. Maybe not every match was great. I'm not saying that, but you ended up like going on a journey and watching these characters grow. And I think it's great. Even my sister Cheyenne, she started to watch. She never watched Joshi before, but she started to come in for the tournament and watched a few shows, and she's got her favorites now. She's gotten people down already. It really showed you it's a great kind of like boot camp to get into Stardom. By the end of this tournament, you feel like a seasoned vet, and everybody else got to grow so much. And like I said, it probably would have been worse if the last couple of nights didn't deliver. Those were the big major nights, but they delivered so well that I think it's hard to look at this any other way other than a great success. Even going into the final night, before we saw what we saw, and I'll talk about the final briefly, but I was so hyped for this final night. I thought they built up the Final Four so great. Outside of Momo, because I thought the finish to the Sorry Momo match was really a big letdown after that was kind of like the main match of the tournament. Like, Sorry specifically called her out. Sorry was kind of the main character, and like Sorry to me was arguably the MVP of the tournament, in my opinion, as well. She's the character that I think they probably should have tried to go with Takeshita in New Japan. And she's doing exactly what he could have done. And it worked so great. She was booed in almost every show. The fans were turning against her. Yeah.
That was so great. It was such a great demonstration of what is possible if you just don't half-ass characters, just like you said.
Yeah, and she bought in. And she's true to herself too. She's not a dastardly bullshit heel like some people. Going in there, she stayed true to her character as an independent. Whatever she did, this was the Sorry we all know, but tweaked a bit to be over arrogant and looking down upon this roster in a way that it captured the fans.
There was no need for her to just become an overly comically heel character. She's just herself.
Exactly, and that's why she's so great. I thought all of her matches delivered and elevated people in most, pretty much mostly ways. My personal favorite of the tournament for her was against Hina. I thought Hina showed so much heart and stepped up to Sorry in a way that, you had this. It really reminded me of a really old school All Japan match in the 80s or 90s, where, it was all based on, hierarchy systems, right? The top guy was always going to be tier 1 was always going to beat tier 2 until tier 2 finally got a big one over tier 1, and then they became tier 1. And that's kind of Sorry's tournament. I actually think they could have booked her even stronger to make the end result even better for Momo. But those were kind of nitpicks. Her tournament was still a very successful story. I think Hina, being a supreme underdog, and I also like the Rana Yagami match in a similar vein. I thought the Hina match was better, but I thought the Yagami match also worked greatly. I thought it was a little underrated by the inmates. I thought they did a great job stylistically, and then the Suzu match I thought was another great match. So those 3 matches in a row all were a little bit different, but I love the matches with Sorry and a lower tier worker. And I think they all worked. Again, I wish that the end result would have been a little bit better, because I don't think the Momo stuff was what I would have wanted, to be honest. But I think that she was a great job and it's always good to have a focus point of a tournament, and usually a block. Like ideally, I think you want a main character, and whether it's a 2 block or a 4 block, you want every block to have a main character. And I think that they really were able to accomplish that in this tournament. And so I think the booking was very strong. And I thought the performances, there were a bunch of standouts. And I think it was a total success. What did you think going into the final night?
Before we go to the final, Dylan, I quickly wanted to say that I was really excited that Rina got so much of a spot in this tournament. She made it to the eventual semifinals of that tournament, losing to Azumi. They had the match twice in the tournament, and I thought it was very good these 2 times. And it is for her, I think that tournament did so much. I think she's now viewed as one of those that can hang with the best in the company. And when I'm looking at her tournament, it was a very successful one. The first 2 or 3 matches weren't that great, but up until the final night, she really gained a lot with the matches against Tomoka Inaba, against Natsupoi, against Starlight Kid, and of course, then finally the one against Azumi once again. Just a tremendous tournament for her, and I'm happy that she got that opportunity.
She's another. I think if you said she was the MVP, I wouldn't really argue against that.
There's a case.
I think she was arguably the most consistent worker in the tournament. I get outside of Sari because I think Sari just had so much going into it that she had to carry more on her shoulders. Rina just getting to this point was like a huge step up for her, and she really grew into that role so great. And look at what we said compared to the G1 again. We have a total straight 1-for-1 comparison. What did we say last week, Strigga? Who gained anything from this tournament?
Yeah, we're scrambling. We're scrambling around to find names, and here you could pick a couple of names.
More than a couple. Like there was a lot of people that gained from this tournament, and even from a booking standpoint, there were people that gained. I just mentioned Hina on a local level as the future champion. She got to stand up against some of the best in the company. She held tight. Rina, great upgrade for her. Azumi feels closer to the main event scene than ever. Momo got the win in the tournament. Sari put over people. Ano got to have a little bit of a revival after a soft year going in there. So it's like all these different people. And the rookies like Rian and Carrara, they delivered big. And got to have a step up. So it's like all these different people. You could go a dozen people deep that truly gained something from it. And there was more beyond that were just good workers. People like Mizumori, who she's in her same spot, but she was a great hand in the tournament and made all of her matches entertaining in there. So it's like you had so much depth in this tournament, so much intricate booking to make people work. And by the end of it, again, I loved it the final day because no matter who was going to win, of all 4 options, it was going to be a first-time winner and someone who's never won belt before. And I think that's just brilliant. And all of them deserve, like, any one of them you could make a case for. And I think that's just excellent. And I was so hyped going into the final.
It's excellent booking, and it's an excellent signal for the company going into the future that they have so many options left that they can still do next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. You name it. Going into this, I was thinking that Azumi was not going to win because she got the big victory over the champion of Sayaka Mitani.
Yeah.
So that to me was the red flag for her, but making it to the finals was a great way to finish the tournament for her. And I was really looking at the second semifinal, but at the Blue Stars semifinal, at Momo Watanabe or Saoriano to win the tournament. Yeah. And I think Momo Watanabe is the most interesting of these 4 options because it makes you wonder what's going to happen with Hate next.
I would say that I do agree with you about Azumi. I, as a fan, wanted Azumi to win because I thought she had the best tournament of everybody, and I was just so on board after that Kamitani win. But logically, what you said was correct. Like, that was not going to really happen. I thought Rina going in would be probably too soon, but also she performed well enough that I'd be like, okay, like splash, like with it, like let's go, type of deal. Ano was, I thought, the logical favorite I thought you could do a lot with her. They were telling a little bit of an interesting story between her making it and Poi not making it. They had a little bit of like friction there. And I even predicted when we did, me and Sandre did the prediction show. Basically, Poi was in Ano's role in my booking, pretty much, in my predictions. And I basically booked it to where Tom would make a return appearance on the final night in the final to be that like extra like deal. So I thought maybe they could do that with Ano here. Like I had predicted it with Poi, but like you could really do the same thing with Ano, where Cosmic Angels like come together type of deal. But Momo winning. The thing is, I didn't really like her tournament that much. I don't really like her that much anymore. So like, and like, yes, 6 years ago, Pure Heart of Wrestling, white belt Momo, yes, that was all great. As a heel, even against Sari, that ending sequence, they had some good wrestling, and she's still a talented person. I'm not denying that. But in this gimmick, she was the one that had my interest the least of the four. The big interest to me of her winning now, and why I'm not really like down on it or anything. And I thought the final match was good. I didn't think it was nearly as good as the Azumi and Kamatani match.
I agree with that, and I was stunned by the high rating on Cage Match. But that's once again maybe due to it being a big match, and people put an extra point on that because
it's an emotional reaction because it's a great story on paper.
Yes, absolutely.
Because these two are former tag partners. Like a lot of people loved Momo AZ as a team, and I loved them as a team. But it's just her as a performer.
And I think Momo Watanabe, more than anyone in the hate group, suffers from the Japanese pro wrestling disease of crowd brawling, because it happened in virtually every single match that she had.
Yeah, and her matches are all very similar, like, and with the interference and the crowd brawling, like you said. It's interesting that really does, and that's something people have picked up on, that could be a story point. That the fact that they do all the House of Torture stuff for her more than really anyone else could be portrayed as they don't believe in her, and they feel like she needs the help. And that could be a storyline purpose. Like I said, my interest for her is if there's a turn coming, because if she goes back to babyface Momo, then I'll be happy. Like, then I'll say this was a great idea, this is great booking. If they do a situation where she challenges for another belt, like not the red belt, she tries to make a challenge to Sari or something like that, then I'm going to really not like it at all. Like, I think that automatically, no matter who it is or what the situation is or who the champions are, I firmly believe that the winner of a tournament like this should always challenge for the top title. Like there's zero circumstances where they should challenge for a second.
That's going to happen.
And I hope so. They teased that she would go after a secondary belt, and a lot of people kind of predicted that could be the thing. But I really think that, I
think Peps laid that out in the Cage Match Discord, and we've talked about that there. That Saya Kamitani is going to gaslight Momo Watanabe into wanting to challenge Sari for the IWGP Women's title and to take that spot instead of the red belt spot, but that Momo Watanabe eventually will then challenge Saya Kamitani, and that could, of course, happen at the big final show of the year in Sumo Hall on the 29th.
Yeah, it's up in the air when the title challenge would even take place overall. I still think that's a little bit of a jump for Watanabe, considering where she's been for quite some time now on the card. I mean, she's really been more of a mid-card player with history. They kept her kind of bubbling under. Like, they had her run that shot against Mercedes earlier in the year in AEW. She was the selected choice for that.
Yes.
And it seems like she's got supporters and people who trust her backstage, and she's a really great worker, and with a lot of history with a lot of different people. I think that's something she has over some other people in the company, and I would love to see that play out. I never want to count my chickens before they hatch. So I'm not down on it, and that's another thing. Any of the four winning, I thought, had reason to and could be great. Like, you could build a story with any one of the final people. and it could be great. And they do have the chance now with Momo. And like I said at the start, usually when we doubt this company the last couple of years, it ends up like they end up winning in the end somehow. And I think that a lot of people are excited for this, and I think a lot of people will just. I mean, in her peak, her fan base was some of the most rabid fans of Stardom. Like when she was like the white belt champion, as soon as she lost that title, there was a contingent of people that thought she was immediately underpushed and would disparage Hoshiki afterwards and basically say that Momo should always be at the focal point. Kind of like Hangman fans in AEW, where they're like super, super passionate and they always want everything to revolve around him. Momo had those kind of fans. And I think that they're still there, even though they've died down a lot in the heel run because she just hasn't been as good in any way, I would say. But I think that they now see this is finally her chance after all these years to get pushed to the main event. And I think that's why you saw the big rating and the rallying cry on Twitter. And I think that's a great thing. I think it's a great thing that she has those kind of fans, and it's what every wrestler would love and die to have. So they've got that behind them. If they could stick the landing on wherever this is going, I think we could be in for a great last quarter of the year. And a great follow-up to this tournament, which is always important. Like, there's been tournaments in the past where things look like they were incredible. The winner came in, and then things just like went off the rails. And sometimes there's been bad tournaments that lead to great things. But I think now they're set up. And again, I have total confidence in this booking team. Like I said, every time I've doubted them, they pretty much came through in the end. Same thing with Saya and Tom, like doing the match the month before.
Exactly.
I thought was a mistake, but it turned out that they just always seem to win somehow, and I think a lot of it's due just to the great roster they have. But and I think that they're going to win again. I think what you and Pep said is very likely to happen. Now that we've talked through it, I do think that is the play. I'm always a little doubtful. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, like I said. But the way things are going, I'm very excited to see where this win goes for the Black Peach.
Yes, so if you've not checked that out, the 2 final days of the 5-Star Grand Prix are really recommended. Other than that, I thought that the show from Korakuen Hall from August 6th was incredibly strong as well. And throughout the tour, there were numerous shows that were really, really good and had great matches on top. So great tournament for Stardom. And Dylan, I always wonder why these companies run all their tournaments at the same time. It's really draining. And that's another one, Dylan. That's another one that President Ace has lied to us about, because United Japan Pro Wrestling was supposed to be there for the companies to coordinate their shows and their to not overlay shows, but it apparently doesn't really happen in Japan because all the tournaments run at the same time. That's I don't know, it's unfortunate, really. Tokyo Yoshi Pro is a member of United Japan. I think Stardom is not, right? I think they have not. Maybe it's due to that.
They were part of United. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were. Tokyo Joshi was.
Then it's a good question why the Princess Cup happens at the same time as the 5-Star Grand Prix, and they both run Tokyo at the same time, because one company drew really well and the other one drew moderately okay for them. Tokyo Yoshi.
I just want to say one thing before we go to TJ. The 20th show is free on YouTube. That was another brilliant promotional decision that they had.
Oh, yeah.
The semifinals they put up free for everybody. Like, they aired it live. And that just got the fans even more invested in the final. I mean, that video has almost 200,000 views for the semifinal show.
Disgusting promotional tactic, Dylan.
Yeah, let people see your shows. Amazing.
Yes, so TJPW, we had, of course, everything with the Wrestle Universe service, and it came down to the 2 semifinals in which Aris Endo defeated Yuki Arai in 14:40, and Mio Watanabe defeated Shoko Nakajima in 24:40, which I thought was just an incredible match. And I want to say that right here, I thought that the final between Miyu Watanabe and Aris Endo was really a great match as well. But the one between Watanabe and Nakajima here, I thought was on a completely different level and blew that other one away. I was so amazed by that Watanabe versus Nakajima match. Before you go into that, Dylan, the final then happened on the 23rd. As I said, moderately okay draw for them, 742. In the final, Miyu Watanabe defeated Aris Endo 20 minutes to win the tournament, I think for the first time with a teardrop. Aris Endo, great success for her to make it to the finals. Miyu Watanabe once again proved that she's a main event talent and main event wrestler, and she will be like the new version of the of the old guard, quote unquote, for the younger wrestlers to overcome. So, what did you think about the semifinals and final?
I thought that going in, they were at a little bit of a disadvantage for me because we had the other tournaments going on. And as not interested in the G1 as I was for most of the tournament, and as lower as it was, and as negative as some people thought we were, I had even less interest in Princess Cup going in there. But by the end, I think they really delivered big. Shoko, man, I think that she's just killed it. All three of her last matches against Mizuki, Tatsumi, and Watanabe were just unreal. Like, all three of those matches were great. Like, Shoko went on a historic run, and I wish that the company was more hotter because I think people would really be into her and like what she put down in this tournament in particular. Endo deserves a medal for that match she got out of Arai. It wasn't as good, nearly as good as the Miyu and Shoko match, but for Arai standards, that had to be the best match of her career that I've ever seen.
It was pretty great, much. And I thought it was better than the title challenge that she had.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I think that was an amazing accomplishment for Endo. And it led to a great final. I think, again, it's another case where either one winning would be really great overall.
Yes.
I personally think there was more upside in Endo winning, just because I feel like she needs it more. Miyu's already been at the top of the mountain. But Miyu winning's fine, too. Like I said, she's great. We love her. Title reign, really just totally flamed out and didn't do anything. But she's still very good, and I would love to see her wrestle more. So I don't mind it. It makes her, like you said, it establishes her as like the new version of how it was in the past with Miyu and the rest, where they were on top and they were the wall that nobody could get over. So that's fine. Like, that's a totally valid reasoning. And the match was great. I thought Endo and Miyu was a really strong match. Not as good as the one with Shoko. I do agree with you on that. But I thought it was a really good way to do, like, not only did she win, but actually the way they worked the match made Miyu look like this very dominant force that Endo was trying to overcome, where she was always, like, anytime Endo would get something going, Miyu would just, like, put a stop to it, and it will. And I thought that made her look even better.
It was a great babyface and underdog performance for Aris Endo, and that's where she excelled.
As she always is. Yeah. So and she was one of the best, and I think that's why I would have liked to have seen her win. But it's fine. Like, it was good, and it was a very well done tournament. It's some of the best stuff we've seen from Tokyo Joshi Pro all year. Those 3 Shoko matches and the final, I think that, like, we haven't seen a run like that for a long time in Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a shame, and it really showed because, I mean, 742 at Korakuen is not gonna, like, that's not gonna blow the roof off of anywhere. Any company. But for them, like you said, it could be worse, I suppose. But it's definitely not where they would want to be, ideally. And I think that hopefully they can figure out a way to go forward and get more interest in things.
Yeah, I mean, they now have the show in Ottawa coming up September 20, where they will have the Mizuki versus Miyu Watanabe match for the Prince of Princess Championship. there's one other match announced. Is the Princess Tag Team title. Shoko Nakajima and Hapa Misao defend against Yuki Kamifuku and Wakana Uehara. Uehara, I think, was it at the final show where she pinned Hyper Misao? I think it was.
Yeah. Chicago's there for that.
Yes, right. Yeah, she pinned. But I really liked what Uehara brought to the table throughout the tournament. I think she's coming into her own. I think the submission finish that she does is working for her. So I'm really liking her wrestling right now.
What do you think about their tag team name?
What's the tag team name?
Uber Eats.
Oh yeah.
Good.
It's one of those jokes that you laugh about, like I did one time, and then it slowly fades out.
Yeah, yeah. Like, so that's a good one night gimmick, not necessarily a full time. But I mean, it's not as good as free Wi-Fi. I would say.
Yeah, not at all. Free Wi-Fi is an all-timer.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I like Uehara too. I think she was started out really young, but like she's showing that she has something to her and I think they see it too, and that's why she's in this position. Despite being young by the Tokyo Joshi Pro scale, the young by any scale, I think that she's gonna be somebody really cool for the company going forward.
Yes, exactly.
Do you think Miyu wins the title?
I think Miyu wins the title. Yeah.
Yeah, over Mizuki.
I mean, they could, of course, go on with Mizuki. That would be fine as well. But I kind of have a feeling that they want to have Mio back on top. They now announced that Mio Yamashita is somewhat of a office person now for TJPW. So I'm thinking that Mio Watanabe will transition more into the role of the ace, of the leader of the company. Maki Ito is gone now. The contract is expired, and they need people on top. Mizuki has now proven that she can be a champion twice, and Mio Watanabe, I think, could be a champion twice too.
Yeah, historically the company plays extremely conservative. I wouldn't be surprised if Mizuki kept the belt, to be honest. But I think Watanabe would be a fine champion. Give it another round. Like I said, her first run wasn't very good, but hopefully this one can be better.
It feels like that they are making moves this year. I think when the tournament started, I was thinking that Aris Endo gets a run in the tournament because Suzume had the International Princess run earlier in the year, and they kind of should have wanted to elevate Aris Endo as well, which they did. They are both elevated now. And Suzume also lost in the first round of the tournament in a big upset as well. So, yeah, people are gaining footing in this company. It's sad right now that Moka Miyamoto's International Princess title run didn't really start with a good match over Suzume. That really was not a good one, and that she was injured or had to drop out of the tournament before it even started and didn't get the match against Miyu Yamashita.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yes, so like you said, there is not much buzz behind the company, but this Princess Cup was really a good one. If you check out the matches that we just mentioned, especially the Shoko Nakajima ones, so the quality in the wrestling is definitely there.
Yeah, and they've got a good group of people. Like, there's a lot of young talent that I think could step up and do some big things. And they're all growing. Uehara is kind of the top of the class, but you've got people like Shino that has charisma. It could go somewhere. Torabami is somebody I've always liked a lot.
Toga also had a good singles match with Ryo Mizunami recently.
Yeah, Toga's very good too. Kira Summer, I think, is a really good foreigner for them. And I think that they're doing some good things with the card. We'll see if it translates anywhere. I think they've got a little bit of a hole to climb out of, but with Yamashita taking a back seat a little bit and Ito leaving, they're kind of forced to make some changes. But we'll see how it goes overall. What did you think about Ito? Her departure.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I'm really not. I didn't really feel anything about it right now.
It was like she's been gone for a while.
Yeah,
almost.
She's been gone for a while, and yeah, it's she's been gone for a while. If it had happened in 2021, that would have been a big hit to the company. But now with her on and off role, that didn't really change much.
I mean, it feels like she's been gone for a while, but if you actually look at her year, she's been in Tokyo Joshi Pro like pretty consistently, like this year.
Yeah, she's been there, but she never felt like part of the company. If you know what I mean. She had the run with Mia Yamashita, yes, she did, but it always felt like that she was looking in from an outside perspective.
And then after that, she was just like in a mid-card type of role.
Exactly.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, her peak was years ago. Like, that's pretty clear. I would say they had that one chance with her when she went on the Princess Cup run, and they didn't pull the trigger, and that was it. It feels like I feel like that was the end of the line for her
and
mentally.
I recently thought about us discussing that back then. I said, okay, they probably will have another chance with her, but they never had. And in hindsight, that would have been the moment.
Yeah, I mean that's how it goes. Like a lot of times in wrestling, it's like that. Like you think, oh, so and so will have another chance, but it's hard. Like it's hard to catch lightning in a bottle, you know.
Yes.
And a lot of times these companies let it go. She's not the first, and won't be the last.
No.
But
just
and I feel like, yeah, I mean he had his moments eventually. They just were never like
they never peaked as high as the Okada match in the Dome.
No, absolutely not. And I will go that I think I said that on the last show.
Yes, you did.
Well, yeah, that to me was when the magic, and I wasn't even that big of a fan of his anyway, as other people were in the peak. But that was the moment I knew that Gato was not the answer, like running the company and the current booking team, like because it's just like that was it. Like you totally fumbled the bag there. And Ito had a somewhat similar story there, but they just never got around to it. And like I said, I think a lot of that was her. Like I think she mentally checked out after that run. And she's been in America a lot more, obviously, over the years with the GCW stuff. She was a part of early AEW, but I guess it didn't catch on to the people running the company too much. But she's been in GCW a lot, and she'll probably be able to do that more. Maybe she makes more money in America. Like maybe that's what it was, as a financial decision. I mean, like that's very possible. But either way, like I said, she had her moment. Besides that, like she was never really. I was never a big fan of hers, to be honest. I thought she really stepped up huge during like that run I'm speaking of. But besides that, before that, I thought she was like really bad. And then it felt like her heart wasn't in it anymore. Like she got great, and then her heart stopped being in it, and she was just meh. After that, they had some good tag matches with Miyu. I will say that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we can't take that away from her.
Whether as opponents or as tag partners.
Yeah, and I think that is worth mentioning. But her leaving, unfortunately, feels like she went out with a whimper and not a bang. Like or anything like that. I mean, and just look at this match. I mean, obviously the match was just terrible. I thought like this thing with the Rai. Like I don't know what they were thinking. Like you're going out with that. I mean, I know what they were thinking. It's because it's a Rai. I don't know what they were thinking. The match was horrible, and it felt like a really lame send off for somebody who was one of your main people for years. Like whatever happened with the title. She was one of the biggest names of the company for quite some time. Do you think there would be interest from Stardom? Like, would Bushiroad pick up that phone and be like, look, we're going to give Ito a shot going forward?
I really don't see it. I don't think that Maki Ito has the quality as a professional wrestler that they are searching for.
I think you have a pretty ready-made feud with Poi if you wanted to do that for a one-off. And Ito would have some appeal to Westerners. If they, I don't think she's going to be a long-term player in Stardom, but I could see them for the year-end show being like, "Hey,
maybe."
Like like we have Poi's not in anything because like we don't book her as good as Dylan wishes we would. So she's stuck. She's the outside looking in this year. What if she had this special match on the card and they built a feud with Ito and she had a little run there? I could see that happening.
As
I
a
don't
one-off,
think
definitely. As a permanent roster member, I don't think she has the quality.
Or some kind of tag match, maybe against Poi and Sari. Like Ito could bring somebody in
Sure.
there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that she'd be a permanent roster member either. But I do think that they would be tempted to at least give her a shot and see how it goes. If that happened, maybe Ito would be more motivated, and we'd see a new side of her if that happened, and that might change our opinions on that. If she comes in and blows the roof off and gets a lot of her fans into Stardom, like I said, I think it's a risk worth taking. Honestly, even though I'm not really a fan of hers, if I ran the company,
it would not damage Stardom in any way or form.
No, so. And if it doesn't work and she's not any good this time, and you want to use your girls more, just let her, roll on. Like have Poi beat her, and then we just move on. Like I don't think there's any real risk to that.
Yeah. So from one tournament ending with TJPW's Princess Cup to the All Japan Oudou Tournament opening up, Dylan, we had one show so far, and the second round is going to start on the weekend. The first show only had 3 matches, and for a Sunday show and for a tournament opener with Miyahara in the main event, I thought 983 was not a tremendous draw for All Japan Pro Wrestling either. I don't know if the tournament really is a big drawing point. Obviously not.
Not.
Yeah. So we had in the main event of this show the meat and potatoes version of a Kento Miyahara match as he defeated Kengo Mashimo. Mashimo was great in here, damaging Kento Miyahara's leg in all sorts of ways, outside the ring, inside the ring, in various fashions. Miyahara did what he had to do to deliver a main event that was worth for a main event, but really nothing else, right?
Yeah, I said it on the Patreon show I did about this show. Like, if you want to see these two, track down their 2016 title match.
Yes.
At their peak. That was an incredible match of the year level match. Like, this was a match I was excited for because it's Mashimo and I love him. But it's like, in my mind, I remember that match and it was like one of the best of the year, like 4 3/4 stars or whatever. And this is like a 7 out of 10 match. Like, it was good, very formulaic, nothing real special about it. I like the struggle at the end they did, where they took and this is like one of Kento's specialties. Basically, they turned a reverse, like a suplex reversal and the shutdown German into like literally a minute, like to a minute and a half sequence. Yeah. Where he had him up for the suplex. Kengo kicked like hell. He had Kengo up in the air for like 20 seconds, like 10, 15 seconds. And he fought like hell, got out of it, turned that into something, and then he held him up for the shutdown, and you had that moment where he tilted him over for the shutdown. So they took basic stuff and stretched it out. Probably could have cut some time off of it, to be honest. But it was still good. Just nothing you have to rush out to see. I'll spoil myself. I thought all the matches were good. For the first 3 matches, I thought they were all worth watching, and all 3 very different as well.
Yeah, so very different. So the Naoya Nomura versus Yuma Aoyagi one was really different from any other Aoyagi match that we saw this year,
and of better course, than all of those.
And very different from the main event as well, Dylan.
Yes, it was better and different from those matches and the main event and all the other matches on the show. Nomura, man.
The crowd. I
love this man.
Man, everybody does. The crowd loves him. We love him. Everybody loves him. You could see the spark in the crowd when he was just doing his thing, just doing his craft inside the ring. The fans were so clearly behind the guy, and they so clearly want the guy to succeed. It was just a joy to watch.
And he was amazing in the match.
Yeah.
When he fired up, and he's just like, all right, like, it's time to end this stuff with my brother, like 2 guys who are, totally linked as characters and wrestlers and probably human beings. He's like, all right, I have to win this. when he leveled that flurry of forearm smashes into Yuma, I was like standing up when that happened. They were so freaking good. And I was like, this man wants to win. Like, he wants this to be a shoot, and he's wrestling like it. And I thought Yuma did a great job in this match. I thought he really sold and made Naoya look even Naoya already looked great, but he made him look even better. And it kind of showed us that, because we're gonna talk about DG in a second. It's like DG Aoyagi is like goofing around with Yamato trying to pull the pants down and all that bullshit. Letting Inoue do all wrestling. And he's stuck in this comedy hell he's trapped us all into for this year. But deep down inside of this man, you could see why I thought he was one of the best in the world a couple of years ago. Like, that's still there. Like, it's just, does he want to be that? Like, that's the only thing holding him back is himself. Because he proved, once again, he's not just a great worker, but a great opponent to make people bring the best out of themselves. So I thought he did that here against Naoya. And it's like Naoya, it's like I hear it all the time every time he comes back. They can't do anything with him because it's only a matter of time before he gets hurt again. And my response to that, no. That makes it even more imperative that you get everything you can out of him. And maybe this is the time it works. Maybe he does get hurt again. But the fact of the matter is, this guy's dynamite. He's a main event level talent. The crowd loves him. He has all fresh matches. And I would put the belt on him. I don't know if this is a hot take. I would have him win. I think he will win this tournament. Like, that was my prediction beforehand. I think he's winning this motherfucker. Yeah,
and I really don't see anyone who would be in contention to win this right now. I mean, he could have a title match with Daisuke Sekimoto, of course. But other than that, most matches have been done.
And I still stand by what I said. If Naoya wins this tournament, he should win the belt from Jun Saito. And we're gonna ride this train until the wheels fall off. And hope for the best. I mean, I'm not gonna write this guy out. Clearly, he loves wrestling. And again, I know how wrestlers think. Like this, I always said it about Shibata when everybody wrote him off. Like, I know how this goes. And it eats at you. It's like a disease you cannot get rid of from. Like, you have to wrestle if you're a wrestler, or your life will always be incomplete. And he wants this. Like, he fought his way back so many times. Why not believe in him? Like, let's believe in him. And I believe in him. Like, let's hope that this is the way, and things can go right this time for him. And this could be the happy ending that he deserves and the fan deserves as well. I'm rooting for this guy as a person and just as a pure wrestling fan, because I think he can really do some great things. And then, if that did happen, look who we have coming down the pipeline. Yes. Anzai's back. Like, that's a major match right there. That's the end of the year main event. Anzai versus Nomura.
Yes, please.
Wherever you are, Anzai, where are you?
Please come back.
We need you. Just like I posted the Wolverine meme on Twitter. Like, that's me. Like, I'm looking at this picture of Anzai. I wish I had a framed picture of Anzai.
Picture of Anzai, yes, yeah.
Yes, I wish I did in real life as well. I would be looking at it lovingly, like Wolverine was in my meme. But that's what I feel. This is the pain in my heart. Let me have my Nomura and Anzai for the Triple Crown.
Dylan, I love to think that they brought in Naoya Nomura and Daisuke Sekimoto to beat the comedy shtick out of all of these wrestlers. And so Sekimoto just beat Naruki Doi in a really cool match.
Yeah, really well done. Big versus small match. It was short. And I thought Doi did a great job in his role. The fans were kind of into it, too, at the end. I thought that was a lot of fun.
I mean, Doi is really over with the crowd, too.
Yeah. I mean, he's just fun,
Yep.
Like, I mean, this is one of those things I said on the Patreon, too. 15 years ago, this would have been a legit dream match. Like back when I first started watching, especially after Doi turned heel, like with Team Doi, because his first babyface run wasn't that good. As Dreamgate champion. No. It just lasted for a million years, unfortunately. But when he turned heel, I was like, okay, this is a guy. Because when I tuned in, I was like, man, Doi, this is the guy everyone says is great. I don't really get him. I like these other guys better. when he turned heel, I was like, okay, I can see what upside he has. And I think if you had done a match in 2011 with Doi versus Sekimoto, that would have been a major league main event. And here it's like a 6-minute undercard match, but still effective. Even 14, 15 years later, they're still so good in their minds that they're super effective. And they made this match work, and the crowd loved it. And why not? And it's a good match for Sekimoto to come back after his sad injury that he had in Big Japan. Like, very easy run for him. And we'll see if he can get his feet under him in the tournament, because I do think he's a good candidate to go far as well. And I think he's a good wrestler. Wish that he had used the dead-end German suplex instead of like the spirit bomb thing that he did.
It's the same thing I said to Flosh. I think that he's doing other moves to finish his matches because his neck is really damaged at this point.
Good point. And what did you think of his version of the splash? It wasn't the golem splash like his old buddy Okabayashi used to do. It was more like he just stood up and fell into the splash. Like,
same answer. His body is damaged.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it. I thought the splash was better than I thought the splash was better than the spirit bomb. In my opinion,
it looks good, and it's good that he's adapting, and it's good that he found stuff that really works for him as a big guy.
I mean, honestly, he could just do a lariat and everyone will believe. It's a fair, like if he won, if he was that damaged.
So many people do a lariat.
That's true. But use the falling splash, Daisuke. That's my advice to you.
Yeah.
Believe in the golem splash.
I wish Shuji Kobayashi could come back too.
Me too. Like, man, how great would that be if Okabayashi versus Nomura, like the Triple Crown match? Now you versus Okabayashi. This is my dream for 2026.
How great would that be? At one point, All Japan just announces an X for the champion carnival, and it's Kobayashi. Oh, Jesus Christ!
or maybe Sekimoto gets a tag title shot, and he has an X. Yeah, like coming in. Like, bring it on! I miss you so much, Yuji.
Yeah,
I love you.
Yes. Yeah, so that was pretty much it for the show. Like, even the Musashi 25th anniversary match was really nothing special, and Great Sasuke didn't even shake his hand. So I thought, okay, you just leave now. Well,
thanks a lot.
I think the best match besides the tournament matches was the opener with Atsuki Aoyagi and Rising Hayato going over Dan Tamura and Ryo Inoue.
That was good. Like, all the matches were actually pretty good. I didn't watch them for the Patreon review, but I went back and watched them because every match was rated good by the people who reviewed on Cage Match. And I was like, hey, this is higher than I expected.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show.
Yeah, it's like mostly 7s. Believe it or not, I thought the Havoc match was really well done, especially by the end with Ashino and Davey Boy. You know, we've all had our issues with Davey Boy and being just boring. In the ring, but I thought he fought really well in the ankle hold, and I thought Ashino was awesome in that segment.
He was.
The problem is that this all but guarantees that Ashino will be losing his first round match to Davey Boy now that he's got a fall on it.
And this was a match that was really well done because there was a way to hide weaknesses in this match, of course, and to highlight strengths in this 6-man tag team situation. And we'll see how that goes when the goes against Hideki Suzuki in the match, and we see Ashino going against Davey Boy.
That should be the name of this team instead of Havoc. Hide weaknesses. But by pairing these guys with Ashino, it makes them look better, and the crowd's into Odyssey because he's freaking humongous. What happened to Talos?
Name is Havoc.
Oh yeah,
like
Havoc is.
I think he went home for now.
I need you, Talos.
Yeah, that was weird, right? Like debuting with him as a tag partner, and then he's gone.
Yeah, they had one match on the 10th.
Now he's back teaming with Honda.
What? I said, goofy booking. I do have to say. And I thought their team had potential, to be honest. The match against Sekimoto and Honda was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm crazy.
No, you're not. It's been good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
that was
miss you,
as much as
Talos.
as we can miss you. See, you're coming around.
Yeah, you were right. I told you even on the show. I was like, you know what,
Yes,
Strig,
yes.
you're right. Like I think you were totally right on that one. I still agree.
Yes. So that's it for All Japan. Quickly here, Pro Wrestling Noah also announced the entrance in the N1 Victory 2025 in Block A. We have the GHC Heavyweight Champion Kenta. We have Kaito Kiyomiya, Manabe Soya, Uka Sasaki, Katsuki Fujita, Tetsuya Endo, Masaki Tamiya, and Daga. Block B has Galeno, Naomichi Marufuji, Keno, Daiki Inaba, Jack Morris, Harutoki, Ricky Knight Jr., and Osawa. Yeah, I am really not very interested in this conglomeration of people.
This
I don't know,
random
Dylan.
assortment of wrestlers.
Yes. So Tetsuya Endo's idea now that he has to win the tournament because Takeshita won the G1. Kaito Kiyomiya, there was a headline that I saw that he complained about the people's reaction about him.
You finally noticed, huh?
He finally noticed. Where was it?
Yeah.
Was it on Tokyo Sports?
It's only like
Where have I
3
seen-
years too late.
Where have I seen that? Wait a sec. I'm not finding it right now. I need to find that right now. Kiyomiya. Yes. Yeah, there it is.
You did it.
I found it. So Kaito basically said that there's on the show where he pinned Kenta. He said, "I am Kaito Kiyomiya, the previous year's G1 victory, N1 victory champion. I have something to say. Noah, where did all the Kaito Kiyomiya support from last year go? Since the start of this year, it's all Osawa, everyone. Have you seen this year's poster? I am on the edge. I am facing sideways. Even the number of interviews has decreased dramatically since the start of the year. Everybody in companies, Osawa. Where did all the Kiyomiya support go? He openly revealed his jealousy towards Osawa without hiding it. Dylan, I'm not thinking that this is going to help.
Where was this support last year that he's talking about? Did I miss something?
She's delusional.
Yeah, because I feel like things went way up when Ozawa won the title. In my version of
Absolutely
reality,
did.
yeah. I don't know what world he's living in, but I hope it's a shoot. Like I hope this whole time Kaito was like totally oblivious to everything, like to the Okada thing, Muto, all of that. In his mind, he was like, "Everyone loves me, and I'm the top star."
I'm the guy.
But it's something. I mean, if he wasn't doing this, what would he be saying? You know,
it's right. Yeah.
You know, like he's been doing nothing this whole year. Like if he had like gone on a leave of absence after January 1st, there would be no difference from his year that he's had pretty much since then. He's done nothing whatsoever. So at least it gives him a hook for the tournament. I would love to have known some of the decision making behind this group. I mean, Marufuji is in, but Sugira's not.
Uh-huh.
Why is Daga in the tournament? You have a number of other people that would have been a greater fit for this.
I'm guessing they wanted some new matches?
And as much as I would have hated this, and I will never approve of this man at all as a wrestler, but Hayata is probably the most protected guy ever in Noah. And yet Daga gets in over him. Didn't Hayata beat Daga like not that long ago, like a month or two ago
for the junior title?
Yeah, and that was even longer ago. I think he beat him not that long ago. So it's like Hayata can get these wins, but he can't get in the tournament. Kotage has been in there before. Like, who's booking this? Like, how did you come to these conclusions? I wonder.
The latest. There hasn't been a Daga and Hayata match in some time.
Oh, wow. Well, at least Hayata... I feel like Hayata beat somebody.
No, there was, actually. Yes, you're totally correct. Yeah.
See? I'm not making this up.
Wait. Oh, no, I misread.
Oh, I am making it up.
You made it up.
Look,
Let me
either
see.
way,
The
Daga.
last Daga match was in October of 23. Hayata and Daga.
Not even a tag match.
November 23.
Look, Daga shouldn't be in the tournament. Like I said, that's all there is to it. At the end of the day. And I think that there's better people that you could have had in his role, but you purposely chose him. So I do wonder. And Marufuji. I mean, you saw that Kenta match.
Yes. I have no idea how he will be able to get this tournament through. I don't know, man. The guy is finished.
That match, if there was any doubt yet, made me so justified when I defend Tanahashi. Because this could be him. Like this could be who Tanahashi is. But he's not. Like Tanahashi, there was never ever a match that Tanahashi's had that was as bad as this. Or the Ibushi match that we saw. And it's so impressive that he's able to keep things somewhat straight. But regardless, me and Jonathan Foy, Dr. Jonathan, we're gonna do a full preview for this next week. So we'll get through every single match, as I'm known to do with these tournaments. But I'll briefly give some overarching thoughts on this and throw it to you. First and foremost, what did you think of Ricky Knight being the guest player here?
Yeah, I really don't have a lot of stocks for Ricky Knight Jr. I'm not a big fan. I don't think he's very good, but he's a big name in Europe right now, and that's what they always go for.
I mean, but in the past, they've had guys from DRAGONGATE. Like the last couple of years has been a
Luis
DRAGONGATE
Mante
guy.
was in.
Yeah, and Yoshioka the year before that.
Uh-huh.
But they said no to that. Instead, they went Ricky Knight Jr. Like,
another spot for a European with Chuck Norris as well.
Yeah, I mean, and that did work out, and maybe they're going to give Ricky Knight a run here as good, I guess. I mean, you've been working with this Will Cruz, the last few months, and he's another guy that kind of got passed over here.
Yeah, true.
So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, what do
you think of Haritoki?
I thought it was interesting. Go is another one that. Yeah, I know everyone's going to say, "Oh, the injuries, can he do it?" But that excuse goes out the window when you have Marufuji in the tournament. Like, if you're asking me who I would bet on more, Go or Marufuji to make it, then I'm going with Go. But instead, they used it to put over Haritoki for the tournament. I don't mind it. Like, he's a young guy that he's going to gain experience, similar to kind of the idea they had with the Stardom rookies going in there. They're really selling him as like this up-and-coming guy. If you ever listen to the commentary on his matches, they're really like Stu and Mark. They're really buying into him, or like selling him more accurately, I suppose. That he's like, hey, this is going to be a guy. Like, keep your eye on this guy. Like, he's got what it takes to be a star. And so I feel like they believe in him, and I like him well enough. I wouldn't say that I think he's this surefire future star, but I don't think it's the worst thing to give him a shot, at least.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. I didn't love the Go Shiozaki match as much as others did. I thought it was a good match.
Yeah. I agree with
that. That was it. So Haritoki has been wrestling for 7 years, mostly on the Indies, of course, mostly in Osaka. It's good that he gets the opportunity now, and of course, Pro Wrestling Noah and guys from Osaka has always been a good choice, always been a good story. He's with Noah now. He's signed to the company, and that's good. He's 26 years old. Lots of upside. When he wrestles with the key guys on the Noah roster, I think he can improve vastly. And then who knows? Maybe he could even be a main event guy for him. He's tall, and he could bulk up a bit more. So yeah, why not?
Yeah, he's kind of like a little bit bigger than somebody like a Keno, or even in All Japan like an Ashino. He's like a little bit bigger. And like you said, there's an upside that maybe he can gain some weight and be like really legit. But I don't think he's out of place at all in Noah's main event scene, size wise.
No.
Yeah, and he's a good worker. Like I have nothing against him at all. And I think it's a good idea to give him this run. I think this is another issue I kind of have with it. I think the block formation, it's not great. I think B block is like you've got all of these question marks with Marufuji, Galeno, Ricky Knight, Morris, and you're really counting on Keno and Ozawa a lot in B block. Whereas A block, I think, is more well-rounded. Like I would think I would have flipped Harutoki and Daga in there because Daga there's not as much upside. And in A block, you get Kenta, Kaito, Endo, Soya, Oka, Masa. It's like everybody there is great. And B block, I think, is really questionable compared to A.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. But, so Ricky Knight, we're not that into him. Do you think that, like, what do you think they're going to do here? Like, overall?
No idea. I was going to pass the question to you, actually. Look,
I will save my prediction for the prediction show.
Kiyomiya has won early here before the tournament. He's won 2 matches for the prelude to the N1, so I don't think that he's winning the tournament.
Yeah.
They need a challenger for Kenta. And since I think that they will do the title match very soon, I would have Oka beating Kenta in the tournament, but not win the tournament.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense because Kenta broke up their faction together as well. So it's like double. Yeah.
And instead, maybe have a guy like Jack Morris win because he recently was thrown out of Team 2000X, and I think he's going to turn babyface again. And that would work out, I think.
Yeah. All I'll say is this. I personally think there needs to be some kind of resolution to the Endo stuff, like with Team 2000X, like Endo and Ozawa.
Yeah, right.
Because that never really went anywhere. They had the triple threat thing with Sugera, and Endo got screwed out of that. And it's like we've kind of been floating on that storyline for a little while. So I would prefer that, and I just prefer him to Jack. I don't think Jack Morris is it. Personally.
It could also be Masaki Tamiya. They put a lot of stocks behind him.
Like, this is the closest I've come, because almost any other time that's been said, because that pretty much every year that gets said. Like, oh, Kitamiya should be somebody. I would say, no, they don't care about him. I think this year is the closest, like, since they fully kind of redesigned him as like a hitman almost, this is the closest I've come to being like, okay, maybe he can be. Like, he's another one. They had a chance. When he beat Nakajima in the cage, that was their moment, like, to get behind him. And they never did it, and he fizzled out. Like, you know, the same way when Kotage was feuding with Go, and he got this huge reaction. They had lightning in a bottle, they had a chance, they dropped the ball, and it never came back. But here with the new run with Kitamiya, the problem with him is, and another problem in this tournament, him and Sugera are already the tag champ. One of them's in, one of them's out. Where is this going? Right. It just feels like sometimes they don't even know what they're doing. It wouldn't have surprised me if they announced this lineup and somebody backstage, Nosawa or whoever, was like, "Hey, why is it Sugera in this tournament? Like we already have Kitamiya there. Forgot to, like, what happened?" And it was just like on accident. That's how their booking feels sometimes. Like, half the stuff they do, but they really came together. They came through big on the Kenta title change and the double title match they had, like, back to back. So it shows that they could pull things out if they want to. Kitamiya winning would be cool.
And to be fair, Dylan, to be fair, there is always the joke going around that Noah is always great for the first 2 or 3 months of the year, but now they've been on a very solid run since January, since the Osawa thing started, and we're now in late August, and they still haven't fucked up things.
Yeah, things have gone good from a business perspective. They've ran smarter buildings, and they've kept things up and kept excitement going. I think that, you look at the final night, and Masa's facing Fujita. Fujita's kind of a wild card in this tournament. It's like,
he always is.
Yeah, like, who is he going to put over overall? I wonder. There's a couple of guys that I think will work, but I think on the last night, I could see Kitamiya being alive and Fujita knocking him out. Like, could be something. there. Same thing with Soya and Olka. They could do a deal where somebody gets knocked out there. I hope Daga doesn't beat Kaito to knock him out. I look at that Kenta and Endo match on the last night as something. And in B block, the main match is Ozawa and Jack Morris. And like you said, the logical storytelling would be for Morris to win. And like that, that advances him. Because that's a last night match. And that kind of ends... That they give Jack what they really didn't give Endo, which is a face-off against Ozawa. How do you think they're going to use Ozawa in this tournament? Because he's been their golden goose. And now he doesn't have the title. Like, so what is the plan going into this tournament? Like, he's an interesting guy in that formation.
I think the plan for Osawa for the remainder of the year should be to spice up things with his opponents and to make others be interesting.
I think that's a great idea. But like I said, everybody tune in next week for me and Jonathan's report on it. We got some cool stuff, school news with me and him too on there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to predict all the matches. I'm still juggling as we talk about it who I think will win. I have an idea in my head. I want to see if I can make it come to life with predicting
not revealing your cards right now. I see.
Exactly. I want people to tune in to me and Dr. Jonathan's show because it's been a while since we talked. And
Dylan is a true worker. Yeah.
So I'm a builder, Strigga. I want to build things.
All right. Let us then move on to our final topic. Dylan, you said it. No Dragon Gate representative in the N1 victory, but we had some shows from Dragon Gate that made air. And they recently just uploaded some of the tour stops, which they actually have never done. They just uploaded 3 shows in a row from the Gate of Adventure tour, which is a nice change in pace for the Dragon Gate service. So we had Dangerous Gate in Ottawa, and it was a successful show for Dragon Gate with 1,930 officially in attendance. I don't think it was the best show in August, though, Dylan. I thought that the Korakuen Hall show from August 5 was significantly better than the one that we had in Dangerous Gate. I liked it much more. We had and especially I liked the build to Shun Skywalker versus Madoka Kikuta much more than the eventual match. Maybe that played a part as well. Yeah. And everything on this Korakuen Hall card just felt so like more on float than most of the stuff that happened at Dangerous Gate. So Dangerous Gate, just like I said, had the main event with Shun Skywalker losing the title to Madoka Kikuta in a match that I thought was all right. We had the Twin Gate match, which clearly to me was the best match of the show.
Yeah.
With Decourage regaining the Twin Gate title from Z-Brats, Jason Lee and Kota Minura. I really was not into the Triangle Gate title match. I thought Super Crazy looked totally out of place.
Yeah, he was awful. By the way, how we mentioned about no Dragon Gate guy, here we have Noah guys on both of these shows we're talking about. With Gopi and Doris, and Monte and Flamita and Benito were on the Noah show last week.
That's so. Right. But
what happened?
Seems to be just between the Mexicans, right?
Just
now.
The Mexicans.
Yeah.
Well, put Flamita in the tournament then. Like I said,
maybe there's a forbidden door between Noah and Dragon Gate these days.
Well, no, there's not. They're working together. Like clearly, there's not. And it was really cool. It was cool on this show, on Dangerous Gate, because you had the All Japan reps and the Noah reps.
Yeah, it was cool.
Both on the show. Yeah.
The All Japan match was pretty cool too.
I liked it.
Tanaka versus Mochizuki to me was disappointing because it was so short.
Yeah, I totally agree. I felt like their idea to counter that was Mochizuki was going to work a really fast pace. We even saw the return of the Twister. Like, I can't remember the last time he's done that, to be honest. It's like we're going to throw everything at the wall, and we're just going to have this kind of clunky sprint match instead of the great match we could have had.
Didn't work out.
No, and it's a shame. And I said it when I was talking to Sandre. Like, it's so disappointing because the Brave Gate has showed no growth through all the stuff they've done with it. Like, it's back in the exact same spot it was for the last 8 years. It feels like.
They are putting it in the semi-main for Korakuen Hall now on September 4 with
Maybe that's their chance
Jackie
to change it.
Kamai challenging Ryo Tanaka.
I hope it's a better match and one that gets more time. Because it is at least up the card for that. And we'll see. But so far, I haven't been impressed with this run.
If they give Tanaka and Jackie Kamai 15 minutes in Korakuen Hall, this match could have the chance to elevate the Brave Gate.
And I hope so. And like you said, Jackie's amazing talent. I mean, he's booked like a complete loser in the company. I don't know how
mostly everybody that challenges for the Brave Gate is.
Well, everybody in Gold Class especially. I mean, but he just lost on this show to a rookie group.
Excuse me, it's Love and Peace, right?
Yeah, Love and Peace.
Love and Peace.
Yeah. They just lost to a rookie group.
Where do you stand on the Madoka Kikuta title change?
Oh, no, I'm with you. Like, I don't know what Shun Skywalker's deal is. But between this and the Yamato match, I feel like maybe he got the idea or somebody told him that, like, for main event matches, they need to be long and drawn out. You add a bunch of slow stuff that's boring and goes nowhere in them to make it more epic. Because, like, that's what both of these last two matches he's had have been. And, like, yes, when it gets good, it's really good. The problem is there's a bunch of stuff that just wastes everybody's time. For at least the first 10 minutes of this match was just a waste of time.
It was.
So, yeah. So, like, it was fine by the end. They came together. But it wasn't any kind of special match or the kind of coronation that I wanted it to be. Although, this is another point I made. On Cage Match, the ratings lately for Dragon Gate have been much higher than usual.
Yeah.
Like for a long time.
Dragon Gate has been on a good run. Dragon Gate, Dylan, is the one company, or one of those companies, that I would call out that have not fell to the trope of the standard Japanese pro wrestling match in 2025. They mostly do different matches. In this case here, with Kikuta and Shun Skywalker, like you said, that didn't really work out. But mostly Dragon Gate has a different formula than all the other companies.
Yeah, and even, like I said, the Yamato match everyone loved. That was like a 9 out of 10 rating, like, overall. That's still like high 8. And to me, I like that match, don't get me wrong. But I'm definitely lower on it than a lot of the current fans. And usually in the past, I think they've kind of underscored DG a lot, in the years past. But for some reason, lately, it feels like the inmates are really warming up to what they're putting down. So maybe it's just me, but I just didn't think the main event. Yeah, me too.
When I reported the attendance for Dangerous Gate, we recently had somebody in our mentions on Twitter asking why Dragon Gate doesn't draw that well in Korakuen Hall, even though they stack the cards really high. They recently announced 1,250 for the Korakuen Hall show that I mentioned. And
that's not bad.
It's good. I was thinking it could be higher because the story between Z-Brats and Shun Skywalker was really done well, and all the storytelling really is great in Dragon Gate. I think one of the issues, actually that's a combined issue, that is that Dragon Gate is not a Tokyo-based company.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which makes it hard to advertise like other companies that have an office in Tokyo can. And Dragon Gate is not owned by a big company. And they do have to do the advertising all themselves. So these two factors combined, I think, how they hold them back to really have a better drawing card in Tokyo. And the Ottawa card drew well.
Yeah, even then, though, it was like 900 less than Stardom would do, like 2 days later on there.
But I went through all the Ottawa cards, and it has been one of the best reported attendances for them in 5 or 6 years in that building.
Yeah, and it feels like they're really not bad per se, but more so stagnant. Like, even with this this Yamato reign, like the stuff in the G1 we saw for New Japan, it was like, okay, this is kind of alarming. Like some of these numbers. Dragon Gate's not like that, but that Yamato reign, it was like a sidestep. Like, even though we like it in terms of the storyline and the matches and stuff, it was really a neutral move business-wise. It just didn't catch on.
Mm.
And we'll see if this go around for Kakuta. I really feel like they've kind of lost. They never really get back to where they were with Shioka as a champion. Like, I felt like they took a step down. I mean, the Kakuta's first reign was just dreadful. To be honest, it was like it was so boring.
I just watched the 2 shows from across Fukuoka just before we started recording here.
Yeah.
And I'm really beginning to feel that Yuki Yoshioka is coming back.
Yeah, me too. And that was like the big victory.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it crazy? Like, I made this point too. Like I said, because we always have the debates on the young guys on New Japan. But isn't it crazy that Tanahashi looked at all of his guys and he said, the one I want to carry my high fly flow and my legacy is you, Dragon Gate, Yuki Yoshioka.
Yes.
But it's revitalized him, though.
The way he jumps over the rope.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He goes to the top rope. He does that with so much joy and with so much energy. I recently, when he did it in a CrossFit Cook, I just rewound 3 times because I thought it was so cool.
I know, he's really, like, he was a great pick. Tanahashi wins again. Like, that's why I've always respected his mind. He knew all those guys that the young guys in Japan, they did. We're gonna go with Yuki Yoshioka, the man from my hometown, the man who idolizes me. And now I give him my wonderful finishing move. And it's, like I said, it's honestly really helped him a lot. Like, I think he's really...
Yeah, it really helped. And if you put it in perspective like you did with all the New Japan talent, it's really telling.
Yeah, Tanahashi's like me. Like, he sees way more of these other guys, and he's like, I don't want to give you my high fly flow. I want to give Yoshioka my move. I would too, Ace. Like I said, you're right. I would have let you climb that cage if it were me, because I believe in you that much.
Yes. Well,
and his match was really good too. The tag match, like you said, that was the best match on the show to me.
Exactly.
I'm surprised that got lower ratings on cage match than the other two. To be honest, I really liked it. I thought it was the best Mino Lee has looked as heels, and I personally was ready for that reign to end. Like, in my opinion. So I think they're getting the belts right. I always say this is like one of my common themes. If you look at a company, look at their belts. Like, if things are looking good with the titles, usually good things follow. Like, not always, but for a lot of times. Now you've got Kakuta. He's the right choice right now as a heel. We'll see if it takes off. I love his performances. I think he's a lot better now than he was a couple of years ago. You've got the titles, the Twin Gates, back on the Courage, where they belong. Brave Gate's a bit of a project with Tanaka, but we like him, even though this match tonight wasn't that great. That we're talking about. Yeah, like, he's good. But, like, hopefully he can catch fire a little bit. And maybe this thing with Kame, like you said, will be the thing that puts things over the top with that. Then the Triangle Gate is on a really good, mismatch team here, like, with the Luchadors.
I really like them.
Yeah, I'm the same thing as you. Like, if it was somebody besides Super Crazy in that match, I think I would have agreed with the inmates, because they still loved it. It was 7.84 rating. But I'm like you. It's like Crazy just destroyed that match in the second fall to me, and it was just like, oh my god, like, when will this end? And I think even they kind of knew it, because third fall. This is one of those back in the old days of the Ditch website, when that was still up, when he would clip stuff. If you just clip the third fall of this match and upload it, you'll be thinking, damn, this match was great on there. But when you watch the full match, you're like, ugh. But they're doing some good things, and the intrigue behind the new group, like, what is Z-Brats going to rebrand to? What changes are going to come with that? And where do Shun and Homari go from here?
Exactly.
As
well. Before we go to that, Dylan, you missed one championship. Of course, the prestigious Open the Ovara Gate Championship. That is, of course, on Kuishin Bokamen. We can't forget. We can't forget the hideous match that he had with Takashi Yoshida.
I wish I could forget that. That was one of those where, even on this show, actually, I do have to say, and I'm not, this is just what it sounded like. I'm not saying putting words in his mouth at all. But I will 100% say that during that particular match with Kamen and Takashi, Jay was so annoyed at that match on commentary. Like he hated that stuff, and there were some times on this show I felt like he was getting kind of annoyed at certain stuff. I do have to say, on Dangerous Gate. So he clearly was not an approver of some things, in my opinion. And can you blame him when you see Love and Peace's attire? When you see Jackie come out with those overalls? Don't you just want to bury these guys when you just look at them? And then you see the greatness of someone like Kimura, like in the All Japan
debut
match.
against Benkei was tremendous.
That was great too. And in that match I said, okay, like this was a good debut. I'm always kind of cautious usually on these young guys, because you can't judge somebody's career this so early. But I said, well, he doesn't have what Homari had in his first match, but it was good. I liked him. And then I saw this, like the angle they did with All Japan and Inoue, and then watching him wrestle on this show, and I was like, this could be somebody. Like I really think like this guy, even just a few matches in, like this could be a guy for them. And I really have my expectations are growing pretty much every time I see him. I really think he's got something. And I thought the stuff with him and Inoue was awesome in the All Japan match.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah,
and it felt good. I love these interpromotional matches, man. Like they're so good. They're super easy to do. Again, I would have preferred Yuma not to go the comedy route early on, but even he felt like he got like the flow was going, and he kind of got into it too, and he was wrestling more serious overall. So I liked it. I like that they're working together. I hope that they do more with All Japan. Personally, I would love to see Paradox invade All Japan.
I want to say, I loved the moment when the Aoyagi brothers and Inoue was sitting in the crowd at the Dragon Gate show. I thought it was such a good bit.
That was good, and a great promo that got translated too with Yamato. And like I said, Kimura, he really, like I said, when I saw him against Benkei, I thought he was good. Like I wouldn't say his performance was blow away, but when he got in the ring against All Japan, I was like, whoa, this guy's got a little bit of swag to him. Like he stepped up to a main eventers and he looked like he belonged. And then the match only reinforced that. And I was like, you, Kimura, like you could be somebody. But I think the angle brought it out of him too. And like I said, I think you could do a lot of cool stuff. And I think Paradox is the perfect group to like make a little bit of an excursion to All Japan, because most of these guys are older ones that are more famous. Like to be perfectly honest, than the younger guys. To outsiders, like to All Japan fans, they might remember some of these older guys when they were big. Have them make a little bit of a run, and you have an automatic blow off to everything with the Doi show coming up in November. So let them have a 2 or 3 month run where these two companies do some stuff together. Maybe you could build to a Yamato and Aoyagi match. I think that would be believable and good if they wanted to do that. Maybe you could swing Kento for a DG show in the future for some kind of tag match on there. I think there's a lot of interesting possibilities. Maybe have a DG team in the Real World Tag League this year too.
That would be great.
Yeah. You get a junior matchup. Susumu's been the champion there before. You could have him do a little bit of a run. The other guys, like I said, are all legends in the business. Hulk and Kid and Kagetora is a great wrestler for sure. So yeah, I was into it.
Let us look at the card for September 4 here.
Yeah.
We have in the opener Mochizuki Jr. versus Katsuma Kimura. That sounds like a great match. Great opening match, man.
Yeah.
Natural Vibes. Strong Machine J, KZ, UT go against Don Fuji, Takashi, and Mondai Ryu. Paradox, Yamato, BB Hulk, Susumu Yokosuka, and Kagetora against the full Mochizuki Dojo of Mochizuki Senior, Ryo Fuda, Daiki Yanagiuchi, and Akihiro Sahara, who luckily is back in action.
Yeah,
Three-way tag match, D-Courage, Yuki Yoshioka, and Dragon Dia take on Team Nohag, Dragon Kid, and Naruki Doi, as well as Shun Skywalker and Homare. Then we have Love and Peace, Hio Benkei and Rita against Madoka Kikuta, Kota Minura, and Jason Lee. Brave Gate, like I said, Tanaka versus Kamai, and in the main event, There's the rematch from the Fukuoka match on this past weekend. Kai Ishin and Yoshiki Kato once again challenged the Mexican team of Benito Flamita and Luis Mante for the Triangle Gate Championship. So we are expecting a rebranding for Z-Brats on this show. And I want to say, Dylan, I think Mochizuki Jr. is in for a heel run. How about that?
I just wish he would get out of that group. To be honest, like
that's why I'm saying that.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you really look at his run, it's been terrible this year.
Yep.
And I scoped this out at the start of the year when they were doing Rey de Parejas. They had a singles match where, God bless this man, he's been my friend for over a dozen years now. But Ho Ho Loon scored a fall over Mochizuki Jr. a clean win. A singles clean win. He didn't just score a fall. He beat him straight up.
It was clean. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't a tag match. It wasn't a banana peel. He won. And that just should not be happening, people. Like, on here. And I remember there was a couple of years ago we were going over, like, who will be, like, the best guy to come out of the rookie class in one of our awards. Because there was that stack year that Anzai won. And I said, of course, Anzai will be the best guy. And you said Mochi Jr. Like, that was your pick.
Yep.
And ever since then, it feels like they heard that and they're determined to make you wrong.
Tear him down. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because what are they doing? Like I said, what are they doing? I just said it. They lost to the rookie group. Fuda beat these people.
The only explanation that I have is that he's turning heel. Other than that,
but it's not just him. It's the whole group. Like,
other than that, he or them, they screwed up. Whatever they did, I don't know.
Hio joined the group, and that killed all their heat, like he always does.
Punished.
That's the real truth.
Yeah,
like, once Hio joined that group, he should have joined Vibes so they could kill that group off, and that will go to my grave, believe it. Especially if they killed him off anyway, like with Hio not in there.
There's still a thing. There's Natural Vibes still a thing, but man,
and no upside. Like, it's going nowhere. I mean, what's Jay doing?
Casey is at this point that he's now being pinned by Ryoya Tanaka clean in the middle, so he's not a guy anymore.
Yeah, too bad.
But what do you think is happening with Z-Brats now? With Kai, Ishin, and Yoshiki Kato challenging? Ishin recently has lost to Shun Skywalker. Ishin is always the one that drops fall in these multi-man matches. Kai recently also dropped some. So what are they going to do? What do you think?
Well, the thing that set this match up is in their first title match, Homari ran in.
Exactly. Right. Yoshiki Kato demasked Flamita, and then Homari ran in to make the save.
Yeah, and Flamita's thing was like, we want to beat you clean. Like, we don't need help. Like, we want to do our thing on our own. So to me, this is a clear signal that this show is going to end with whatever this group is going to be standing tall with those Triangle Gate belts with their new flag and logo planted, and probably some people beaten down.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that this combination will, in the end, be in the same group, right?
Yeah,
we've seen that in Triangle Gate matches, that they win the title and then they throw one guy out of the group.
Yeah, and that could very easily happen. It's just like, the problem is, okay, so I'm a big fan of Kato, personally. Like, probably bigger than most. I think he's a really fun character. I think him and Ishin are a great pair. And I really grown to like Ishin. He was a guy I thought was pretty overrated for a little while. Like, I thought the fans really were bigging him up more, but I think he's really grown into a character.
I like Ishin more than I like Kato at this point.
Me too. I think Ishin's a step ahead.
Kato has some issues in movement right now,
and he missed a little bit of time with the injury too.
He did.
So, I would say he's a level above Kato, but I like Kato. I think I like him better than a lot of people, actually. I think he's got a really good future. Kai, it's like he's kind of the one everyone speculates gets kicked out, but the problem with that is, who cares? Like, if that happens, like, are we really going to build a main event angle around Kai? Like, in 2025? I love Kai. Like, I love the King of Freedom. Like, he was always my guy. I was his biggest fan for a long time. But right now, I just don't know if that's the kind of angle where it really even matters. I mean, they could do it. I kind of think this group is going to kind of roll on how it is, personally, for at least a little while. Not maybe forever, but at least they're going to want to have some stability with whatever this heel group is. Maybe there is a new guy that turns as well to replace Shun and Homari. They might try that.
Sure.
But, and like Mochi Jr. would be a great, like, that would be one of my top picks as well, if I got to choose.
What about someone from the Mexican team turning? What about Bendito?
Yeah, it just depends on how long. I kind of get the vibe that they're gonna have to go back soon.
Maybe they do.
Yeah, and same thing with Monte. I think he's gonna take a vacation
after Koei World already.
That's true, but they did put the belts on them, so maybe so. There, maybe you're right. Just not Flamita. Is all I ask. Don't turn him heel because he's too good as a baby face. So, I mean that, and plus that would kind of like. I don't know if I like the idea of the main event sprawling into chaos during the match, like where somebody turns and like the whole main event's a farce now. And Monte turning would be kind of hilarious because like now that as soon as Shun is out, Monte's back in, like type of deal.
Yeah,
which I mean that was kind of logical when you think about it. Like you know, like that he hasn't really been doing that much. I like their Mexican team that they've got going on right now. But it's not really a unit, you know, like it's something that'll hold up long term.
No, Flamita is in vibes at the same time, you know.
Yeah. So, like, Monte turning would be an interesting choice, and it would make storyline sense. Sandre floated out the idea that they make that phone call and get Big Boss back a few months early. Which would be cool. Like, but I don't know. Yeah, because they said he would be out for he asked for the rest of the year off. Didn't say that you know, they said he asked for that. And they said we agreed for a few months. We didn't say the whole year. Or it could all be some kind of intricate work. But I don't think that will happen. I think that would be I miss Big Boss
we all do.
Yes, we all do. You're right. But yeah, do you have any? I think the big thing we're going to see coming out of the show is the new color scheme, the new logo, and the new name on there. And hopefully, I hope to God it's something better than Love and Peace. Is all I ask.
What color do you think they should go?
Yeah, I think they need to kind of separate from the Z-Brats run, which means cutting out yellow on there. I would like to go against red, just because that's been a couple of times the go-to heel colors. I floated my idea when me and Sandra were talking about it was black and silver, like a more streamlined.
Sounds good.
Color group. And plus, it kind of fits these guys. Like Kato used to be a cop, you know, type of deal. And like Jason and Minoru are kind of these dark guys. So I think a dark on dark scheme could work for them.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
If Shun Skywalker hadn't done it before, I would go with black and purple.
Yeah. Black and purple is always a good the heel group color, pretty much. I don't think it'll be the army / rainbow gear that he had on the on his return when he bailed out Homari. There. Yeah. So, what do you think is going to happen with Shun and Homari? Like, do we see any steps in their journey on this show, or is it just a waiting process? Because their match is a mid-card match, and I don't know what they could do really with this group that they're paired against.
It feels like that everything with Shun Skywalker has been kind of a holding pattern.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, I really don't have any idea what's going to happen with him, to be honest.
A lot of people speculated that their journey would be that there needs to be a group that forgives Shun for all of the crazy stuff that he's done over the years and kind of open the door, and who would that be type of deal. I still think it would be a little weird. Like if Yoshioka's up there and he's like, Shun.
No.
Like we go way back. I forget. Yeah, exactly. Like, no. Like, you know, that would just be weird. You know, I don't think that would work. Homari and Dick Courage could work. man, Homari's so good, he can work at any
Yeah,
faction.
he could.
I feel like, yeah, no matter what happens, Homari will be fine. But
So
Shun's character
the thing
has
is,
kind of like,
if Shun is out of the door, Homari should turn against him.
See, I love that idea. When you pitched it months ago, I thought, man, that's such a good idea on there. But I mean, Shun's not out the door though. They need to find something for him to do going forward. If anything, he might be the one to build himself back up and take the belt back from Kikuta in the end.
I think the ready-made match for Madoka Kikuta's end of the title run is against Yuki Yoshioka.
And I would like that too. But by the end of that show, really all the heat was on Shun. Like Yoshioka was still in the tag run. I think that, and I mean that would make an alliance of sorts between these four mean something, and Tanaka, of course, into Courage, because they need guys. Kikuta left. What if Tanaka's turns? Shun and Homari joins the Courage, and Tanaka unlocks himself as a heel.
Yeah, why not?
You know? And that would be like a trade, pretty much. You traded Shun and Homari.
He was the one left out at Kobe World when Ryo Saito said, "Oh, yeah, I have this tag match. I'm sorry, Tanaka, I don't have anything for you."
Yeah, like buzz off, will you? And that would be kind of like a straight up trade then. Kikuta and Tanaka for Shun and Homari.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I think that could be okay. It's just the problem with Shun is his character has been so nuts. They're kind of backed into a corner. No matter what they do, it's probably not going to be very logical. Because like the idea will be,
yeah, well,
no one should forgive. Yeah, no one should forgive this man ever. He should be a heel and loner forever. But that's not going to happen. Eventually, he's going to have a group.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think this could be a seed. I don't think they're just going to go with that. Like they're just going to suddenly unite and that we're off to the races. I think a seed will be planted for that. Maybe they say something like, "June, you're nuts, but Homari, ditch this guy and join us, and like be a baby face. So the crowd already loves you." And Homari could be like, "No, I got to stay loyal to my guy here." Maybe that could be something that they play. Because that's something that's not really been talked about. Like Homari just ditching Shun. And well, that's kind of like... But if you're another group, Homari hasn't actually done anything other than like Shun. So I think there's more storyline potential in a group, whether it's the Courage or another babyface unit, trying to sway Homari back to their side of things. And Shun having to find his way through that. Maybe.
And Kikuta's character has been very successful to sway guys against Shun Skywalker.
Yeah, well, I don't think Homari can't join whatever unnamed Z-Brats replacement group so far, but we'll see. I think there's at least interesting stuff as long as you have this group and the Shun saga. I think there's always something interesting, and there's always potential for something interesting happening on these shows, which is a really good thing for any company, but particularly this one.
Yeah. So, Dylan, we've been over a lot of companies in this show here. So I was really happy that we got to do this here before the big DDT weekend.
Yeah.
Anything else that you wanted to point out?
No. Like I said, we talked about a lot. Check out the patreon.com/Eastern Lariat. Me and Sandre go over a bunch of the Stardom stuff, and we'll probably do something again for the Dreamstar final as well in Marigold when that comes up. Check out the show about the N1 preview with me and Dr. John. That's coming up next week. Should be a lot of fun. Like I said, it's been a little bit since I've talked to the good doctor, and I'm really hyped for that. And otherwise, just keep following us on Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff, on cagematch.net, of course. Really appreciate everybody who takes the time to listen. Like, let us know what you think about things. Like you said, we talked about a lot. Would love to hear everybody's response to the 5-star and the Princess Cup and everything going on in wrestling.
Yes, absolutely. So, want to thank you all for listening. This has been the Eastern Lariat for now. Goodbye.
Sayonara.